What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. Today we will talk about um, the plan for 2022. Uh, as far as I'm aware of, I never was successfully I never was successful in completing a whole year without fapping. There is always a time where I do it, and the goal for 2022 is to not do it even once. Okay, at least starting from today. Today is the 15th of January. So, how do I plan to achieve this? How do I plan to achieve this? Well, it will not be a super fancy strategy, and you guys might find it strange, might feel deceived, but I really tried many stuff already, so I'm confident about this strategy. But in the time will tell whether or not I will be wrong. Uh, for this year, I will focus solely on one thing. Because when you focus on only one thing, you can put 10 times as much energy. 10 times as much energy for 10 times more results. This is the strategy for this year. And what will I do then? I will focus on coping skills. All right. Surely someone has already told to you about coping skills, and coping skills is one of those things that I feel that I need to work the most. Um, Life has never been easy, regardless of social status. There are always challenges that one have to overcome, and we need to learn how to properly cope with the challenges we have in our lives. And as technology has become more readily available and much more juicy and much more enticing, especially for young men, and well, all the information in the world is at the tip of your fingers, and just because it is available, it doesn't mean that you will go to the right sources. So, who have taught us to cope with the challenges of life? Certainly, we didn't learn it at school. Most likely than not, we didn't learn it at school. We probably had school as another source of issues that can make us struggle to cope with. So, in our life, we have to learn how to cope with challenges, and not everybody learns how to cope with the challenges correctly or in a healthy manner. Um, I would say that the way I would cope with problems wouldn't be the best, but also wouldn't be the worst. The worst. I always had a positive thinking about problems, and whenever a challenge posed in my life, I more often than not would think that I would solve it, and more often than not, the problem is actually solved. But there are times where intensity of the issues go over my mind, and on those situations, at least later in life, not so much in my youngster years, later in life, I started to recur to fapping, and I recur to fapping because those problems would invade my mind at night and would prevent me from sleep. So I used fapping to sleep. That was one of the main uses of fapping, and that was one of the crimes of coping with issues. So for this year, the goal is to seize all that activity and cope with problems correctly. And that is it. So I will not do long sessions of meditation. I've been there. I will not try to activate triggers. I've been there. Also, doesn't work. I have tried to have a buddy accountable. Also, well, actually, that's not too bad. Having a buddy is not too bad. I can assure you, and probably I will talk about that in the next episode. But at the end of the day, it failed for a number of reasons. But to master how to cope with problems is something that is fundamental for life and is something that every single one of us should do. And if you do it correctly, it is 100% sure that you will live no fap. So this is it, guys. Start working on your coping skills. But let's not just end the video right here. Let's talk about what is the coping skills that I'm talking about. So whenever you have a problem, whenever you are going through an hard time, when you go to bed, try to just experience that pain, that emotional pain. If you can just ignore it and sleep, try to live with it. Try to appreciate the all the feelings and all the thoughts that you are having. just try, let them flow through your mind. Don't try to stop them. Just let them go, you know. And you can also use one of the techniques that I'm going to mention to you. When those moments arrive, all right, when those moments you cannot stop thinking on your problems, you can use this technique. It is about 100% effective. But before talking about the technique itself, let me break down in the three main cornerstones of this technique. So no, let me go back. And the technique is to just ignore the thoughts, but I will teach you how to ignore it and the principles to ignore it. So when you go to bed and you start thinking on those things, what you have to do is ignore those thoughts. How do you do that? By understanding that you are not present. All right? So when people talk about being present, is about living the moment. And when you start worry about the future or about the past, you are not in the present anymore. You are either in the past or in the future. So this technique and also principle of life is about being as much time in the present as possible. So when you go to bed, you will not wonder either about the past or about the future. You stay present in your bed shape. Like you are in the bed, you focus on your sleeping position. You focus in your breath. You focus on how you feel your neck stretched or not. You focus on the moment, and how your muscles are relaxed or not. You focus on the moment of sweeping, and the more you focus on your sweeping position, on your breath, on your muscles and all those things, the less energy, the less focus you will have to dedicate either on the future or the past. So this is how you beat the bad thoughts that come to you at bed. So you just focus on the present moment, on everything that you are feeling in your body. You can also try to scan what is happening outside your body, your environment, your sounds, the lights, if you have some, and if you are with your eyes open. There are a lot of things that you can focus and discover while you are getting ready to sweep. And this is actually the best advice I can give you to cope with the issues that come at night. All right. Now, this is just a situation, but it's a situation that can then be applied to any time of the day. Any time of the day that you are having trouble thinking on the future or in the past, you can apply this trick and focus on the present moment. The present moment will require different levels of focus, but the philosophy is the same. And whenever you are focusing either on the future or in the past, you just come back for the present and experience your present moment in the most intense way possible. And now you ask me, oh, but I have to think in the past or in the future. I have to do it. All right, I understand that, and I also have been there. We cannot hide from our issues, and there will be a moment we must deal with them or think about a solution for them. But probably it isn't at night where we are most vulnerable to fapping. So what you should do is to cope with them properly, and have a time of the day where you specifically focus to these problems. It can be at the morning, if you will, before you go to work or something. You dedicate your time to solve these problems and think on strategies or even seek help for them, and you concentrate your worries on that period of time. And then when you go to work, when you go to school, you are present at the school or at the work, focusing on what you are doing solely. So about the strategy I have for 2022 and NoFap is pretty much around this. Having and developing the coping skills to deal with my problems, being present and not allow the future or present to take me from my focus from what I'm doing at the present time. All right, and I am aware that this requires higher levels of discipline, because you have to segregate the times where you are present from the times where you are dealing with issues from the future and the past. But it is something that is important and will make the most difference, the most effect in the future. So I am only a few days in, but is working okay, and I would challenge you guys to try this coping strategy. as well. All right, just understand that there is a time to tackle problems, and there is a time to be present. And when you go to sleep, you are present, and then the next day you try to solve a bit of your problems and proceed from there. This is a much healthier way of coping with your issues, and you will not expend your vital energy and overflowing your brain with dopamine for no reason. Thank you so much, guys. See you next time.